When people say, never eat after 8, are they pointing to a real body clock problem or just repackaging calorie advice with a scarier bedtime story?
It is a real biology question, but not a magic hour. Your liver, pancreas, gut, appetite hormones, and sleep-wake system follow daily rhythms. Eating when the body is preparing for sleep may land in a different metabolic setting than eating the same meal earlier. That can affect post-meal glucose, hunger signals, and how easily a snack becomes a second dinner. But the strongest everyday lever is still the whole pattern. What you eat, how much, and whether late food is replacing or adding to balanced meals. The most practical pathway is calorie creep. Late eating often happens when people are tired, underfed earlier, watching screens, or reaching for convenient ultra-palatable foods. In that situation, the clock is partly a marker for lower planning and higher impulse. If moving food earlier reduces grazing, it can help without any special nighttime fat storage mechanism. The benefit is not mystical. It is making the day's eating more visible and less automatic.
So, if someone has prediabetes or wears a glucose monitor, should they expect a late bowl of cereal to hit differently than the same bowl at breakfast?
For prediabetes, I would treat late eating as a useful habit target, not as a standalone treatment. In a 2026 randomized study of older adults with prediabetes, text message lifestyle support improved several health behaviors and metabolic measures, while late-night eating increased within a control group. That does not prove the late snacks caused worse diabetes risk by themselves. It does suggest that nighttime eating travels with a broader self-management pattern: regular meals, fewer instant foods, activity, and weight control.
What about sleep itself? Is the problem that digestion steals energy from sleep, or is it more specific, like reflux, fullness, and blood sugar still moving when you lie down?
Reflux is the cleanest mechanical reason to avoid a big late meal. When the stomach is full, pressure rises. When you lie down, gravity stops, helping keep stomach contents below the esophagus. Fatty meals, alcohol, chocolate, peppermint, and large portions can make symptoms worse for some people. If someone has frequent heartburn, cough at night, sour taste, swallowing trouble, black stools, vomiting blood, or unintentional weight loss, that is not a wellness challenge. It needs medical evaluation. A practical experiment is not never eat after 8. It is finish the largest meal 2 to 3 hours before lying down when possible. And if you truly need something later, keep it planned and modest. That might be yogurt, fruit, a small sandwich, or another food that fits your day. The goal is to prevent the late meal from being both large and accidental. A planned snack is metabolically and behaviorally different from grazing from 9 to midnight.
For kids and teenagers, I've heard both claims. Late eating causes obesity, and breakfast is the only timing issue that matters. What did the pediatric review actually find?
The pediatric evidence is a good caution against overclaiming. A 2026 systematic review and meta-analysis included 30 observational studies and more than 102,000 children and adolescents. Skipping breakfast, lunch, or dinner was associated with higher odds of overweight or obesity. But late-night eating had an odds ratio around 0.90, with a confidence interval crossing no effect, and meals before bedtime were similarly inconclusive. So for children, regular adequate meals look more defensible than policing the clock alone. That matters clinically because a strict night cutoff can backfire if it leads to undereating earlier. A teen who skips lunch, an athlete who trains after school, or an adult who misses meals may arrive at night genuinely hungry. Then the solution is not shame. It is enough daytime food, protein, fiber, and a planned dinner. In children, pregnancy, diabetes treatment, eating disorder risk, and medically prescribed diets, simple clock rules should give way to individualized advice.
If someone exercises in the evening, should they still avoid eating afterward? Or can a recovery snack actually reduce the later snack attack?
There is a small but useful example in middle-aged adults with obesity doing high-intensity interval training. The group combining exercise with higher daily protein intake and a post-exercise protein drink had reduced desire to eat patterns and decreased late-night snacking frequency. That does not mean everyone needs a protein drink. It means timing can be used strategically. If evening exercise leaves you ravenous, a planned protein-rich recovery option may prevent a larger, less nutritious snack later.
How should shift workers or people using glucose-lowering medication think about this? Midnight may be their lunch break, and skipping food could be unsafe, right?
Exactly. The useful test is personal and measurable. For 2 weeks, keep the diet composition similar, but move the largest eating episode earlier. Track 3 things: nighttime reflux or cough, sleep quality or awakenings, and whether total snacks decrease. If you monitor glucose, compare similar meals at different times rather than random foods. If nothing changes, the clock may not be your main lever. If reflux, sleep, or intake improves, keep the earlier structure because it solved a real problem. Also look at the food itself. A late snack that is mostly refined starch, added sugar, or alcohol is different from a small, protein, and fiber-containing option. The nutrition facts label can help you see serving size, calories, added sugars, saturated fat, sodium, and protein. People with reflux may need to watch trigger foods and portion size. People with diabetes, kidney disease, pregnancy, or prescribed nutrition plans should not copy internet cutoffs without checking their care plan. So the best evidence-compressed rule is flexible. Make daytime meals adequate. Move the biggest meal away from bedtime when feasible, and turn late food into a planned exception rather than a nightly drift. The people most likely to benefit are those with reflux, poor sleep after big dinners, prediabetes, or high glucose responses, and anyone whose calories quietly expand after dark. The people least served by slogans are shift workers, growing teens, pregnant people, athletes, and anyone managing medication-linked hypoglycemia.